Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. So like I did update you yesterday, and it wouldn't have been only me, a lot of other people would have updated you on that UEFA have postponed Euro 2020 until the summer of 2021 because obviously of the coronavirus, and plus UEFA do want the season to end. So UEFA have confirmed that they want all Premier League fixtures and they want all domestic club competitions to be completed by the 30th of June. So does this now mean with the Euros suspended, does it mean now the Premier League will return? Now obviously it still remains uncertain whether the season is going to resume from April the 3rd or not, because obviously we do know that the Premier League fixtures are obviously suspended until April the 3rd. But obviously, revert back to what I've just said, this is good from a Liverpool perspective, because Liverpool will be very hopeful that the season does resume. I even know, even if the season isn't to resume and the season, is to be abandoned, I still think, Liverpool will be crowned Premier League champions. But, Liverpool would still want the season to resume. As it stands at the moment, Liverpool are sitting 25 points ahead of Manchester City, and Liverpool only need 2 wins to clinch their first ever Premier League title, and of course to end their 30-year drought. So I still think Liverpool would be, crowned Premier League champions. I've been hearing a lot of rumours from the mainstream media saying that, relegation will be scrapped. So there will be no teams relegated. This is also what I heard. I heard that West Brom and, Leeds would be promoted from the Championship. I wouldn't be too sure, what would happen with the Championship playoffs. I also heard next season, if the season isn't to resume, like I said to you before, this is just controversial plans, it doesn't mean it's going to happen, but they said next season there will be 22 teams in the Premier League, 5 teams would get relegated, and, the EFL Cup fixtures would be axed, to increase the fixtures for the Premier League, basically. So, with this ban, obviously, does it change the context of the league and that? Obviously, the main explanation why the fixtures were banned anyway is because of what happened to Mikel Arteta last week, because don't forget, he did get tested positive for coronavirus. Obviously, quite a few players as well, have been tested for that coronavirus. Even, Man United players have been tested for it because Solskjaer's ordered our team to train as normal. But this is a very, very serious disease. But yeah, I do believe now that the season probably will resume from April the 3rd, and the season will finish at the end of June. But we know it usually finishes in May. But obviously, if the season does resume, the Football Association have got a lot to sort out. Obviously, they've got to reschedule all the fixtures that they have postponed. By the way, the Premier League clubs are holding a meeting tomorrow, an emergency meeting tomorrow, to establish plans for the remainder of the season. So I think, we will know more tomorrow, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, so we will know more tomorrow. But I said, didn't I, a lot of matches across the globe and a lot of sporting events in general have been postponed due to this coronavirus. I'm not too sure. It might have been confirmed, how long the Champions League and the Europa League games are suspended for. Hopefully, they can also resume. Hopefully, the FA Cup games can also resume. So that's the latest news on that. But Liverpool will be really, really delighted about this, because it's good news from their perspective that, UEFA do want the season to end. So that's the latest news on that. Obviously, yesterday, I kept you up to date of what was going on, with Manchester United and all of that. I give you, obviously, the news on, the Nemanja Matic. It confirmed he had been given a 1-year extension on his contract. Obviously, Man United did have the option to extend Matic's contract by a further year anyway. We had the option to extend his contract. Obviously, he was into. I think he was into the final 12 months of his contract was Nemanja Matic, but I think Matic has become key in our team. I think he's done really, really well recently, and I thought when McTominay was out with injury, Matic really, really hit the ground running. So I've got to give Matic a lot of credit. So got to say, recently, Matic has confounded his critics' run because he's received a lot of criticism in the past. I've also given him a lot of criticism, Nemanja Matic, but recently he's done really, really well. And I think, we're also in talks over getting the Man Matic a new deal at the football club. Obviously, Man United paid £40 million for him. He's now into his third season at the football club. He's Matic. He's into his third season at the football club. And, we paid £40 million in from Chelsea back in 2017. So we did get him under the Jose Mourinho era. And he has made over 100 appearances for Manchester United. But at one point, it was looking very, very imminent that Matic was going to be leaving Manchester United. So I give you that news yesterday, didn't I? Obviously, I give you the news on Phil Jones. Obviously, recent reports have emerged out saying that Newcastle and West Ham have expressed their interest in Phil Jones. Phil Jones is one of the problematic players at Manchester United anywhere. His appearances are limited at the football club. He seldom plays now, does Phil Jones. He's now into his ninth season at the club. He's been a long-serving player. He's been here since the Alex Ferguson era. The club made a bad decision last season by giving him a new long-term contract. I think it did say Newcastle and West Ham are willing to offer around £12 million for Phil Jones, but we do need to move him on. Because we've got a lot of centre-halves in the team. We've got Harry Maguire and Lindelof that are our first-choice centre-halves. Obviously, you've got Eric Bailly and Tuanzebe that are our backups. And obviously, you've got Luke Shaw that can also play as a centre-half because he's played as centre-half a few times this season as a back three as Luke Shaw. So Phil Jones can't get in the team, and especially if Smalling was to come back from his loan spell with Roma, Jones would have no chance whatsoever of getting in the team. So that's I give you the update regarding Phil Jones yesterday. I also give you the news, didn't I, regarding Angel Gomez yesterday. Now, like I said, Angel Gomez has seldom played under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, this season. He seldom played, and the main explanation why he seldom played is because his future has not yet been resolved. And obviously, Solskjaer doesn't like to play players who are, fully committed to the club as yet. But I think, Solskjaer, from his own perception, he does want Angel Gomez to stay, and he wants Angel Gomez to extend his contract at Man United. Angel Gomez has got around 3 months left on his contract at the football club. And, I think, we're willing to offer him around £25,000 a week to convince him to stay at Manchester United. I don't think Angel Gomez, by the way, is satisfied about this. Obviously, Angel Gomez has spent the entirety of his career with Manchester United so far up until this point. He is now the age of 19, risen up our youth academy. I think he was in our youth academy for a good 11 or 12 years. And he's been in our senior squad since 2017-2018 as Angel Gomez. Yes, he has. And he made his debut in our win against Crystal Palace in the final day of the 2017 season under Jose Mourinho. But so Solskjaer does want to get him a contract. Don't forget, Chelsea have expressed their interest in him. But we're blocking his move to Chelsea. I think also Barcelona have expressed their interest in Angel Gomez. But obviously, like I mentioned, Angel Gomez has he's only made 6 appearances in all competitions this season for the football club. He's only made 6 appearances. I think he's only made 2 appearances in the Premier League. So the likes of Mason Greenwood, Brandon Williams and Chong have all played more than Angel Gomez. As you all know, last week, Chon committed his future with the football club because Chon had signed a new 2-year contract at Manchester United. There was also an option of a further year. And obviously, Chong has been in the same situation as Angel Gomez because Chon hasn't been getting a lot of game time at the football club, let's be honest. His appearances have been limited, and Chong has been at Manchester United, since 2016, because we did get him from Feyenoord. And I think he's made around 14 or 15 first-team appearances for the football club as Chong. So there's still uncertainty over Angel Gomez's future at Manchester United. But Solskjaer, wants to get his future resolved as soon as possible. Obviously I give you the news regarding Paul Pogba yesterday night. I think we're going to do the exact same thing with Paul Pogba as what we've done with Nemanja Matic, because it revealed out from the media yesterday that Man United have made a contract decision on Pogba, and we are going to we are going to extend his contract ahead of the summer transfer window. Now, it still remains uncertain whether Paul Pogba is going to be staying at Man United or whether Paul Pogba is going to be leaving Manchester United and that. But obviously, like I mentioned, since he rejoined the football club from Juventus back in 2016, he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation as Pogba. Obviously, this year he's been subject to a lot of transfer speculation. Last summer he was subject to a lot of transfer speculation under the Jose Mourinho era. There was a lot of talks about Paul Pogba leaving Manchester United because he enjoyed a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho. But yeah, and obviously, Solskjaer did say that, Paul Pogba will remain at Man United next season. He said this after our 5-0 win against Lask. Paul Pogba also did confirm last week himself that he was keen on staying at the football club. This is what he did reveal out, Paul Pogba. He was keen on staying at the football club, and he was keen on extending his contract at Manchester United. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's got 2 years left on his contract. There's a year left, but there is an option to extend it for a further year. So I just want us to end Paul Pogba's uh long running transfer saga. So we do need to he needs to commit his future. There's Pogba. I think he did say last week he's keen on committing his long term future in Man United because Paul Pogba believes he can form a partnership with Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. Now, like I mentioned to Dimitar Berbatov, who was a former Man United player, he gave his overarching view on that, and he's got doubts about Pogba and Bruno Fernandes being a partnership in our midfield because they do actually have similarities to Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba. They have the same sort of style. So this is Berbatov's main explanation why he doesn't think they'd go well together as a partnership in our midfield. But, obviously, Paul Pogba, the good news is about him, that he has been back in training. Obviously, it did confirm he would be involved in full sessions with the first team squad. And he has been having personal coaching with Michael Carrick as Paul Pogba. So I think, due to this, his return has been cancelled for now. But, he is very, very, close to returning. His Pogba. Pogba's only played 8 games this season for Manchester United due to his injuries. He hasn't played since our 4-1 win against Newcastle. He hasn't started from the start since September. So just put that into the equation. But if we would sell Paul Pogba this summer, we'd want around £100 million for him, at least, maybe even more, because we paid £89 million for him. And at the moment, Paul Pogba is our most expensive signing. Don't forget, he's just turned 27 as Paul Pogba, so he has still got a lot of development in him and a lot of years ahead of him as Pogba. So he's still 27 years of age. But if he was to leave, he'd either go to Real Madrid, because his preference was to move to Real Madrid last summer. He'd make a return back to Juventus, because he did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus. Or he could possibly go to PSG, maybe even Barcelona, because Barcelona have been in for him in the past and that. So his future still remains uncertain at the moment, does Paul Pogba's. So yeah, I give you that news yesterday, didn't I? And by the way, Solskjaer has come out yet again and reiterated what he said before, that he wants to make numerous signings in the summer transfer window. So I think Solskjaer wants to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer, because Solskjaer did confirm that he thinks Man United need around 3 signings to become title contenders next season. Because I don't want us to go 30 years to win another Premier League title like it has done with Liverpool. like it has done with Liverpool. Obviously, as it stands at the moment, we haven't won the Premier League title for 7 years. The last time we won it was back in 2013 in Alex Ferguson's last season. So I think we need to probably win the league within the next 2 to 3 years in that. But I do believe Manchester United can do this. I can't sure we'll win it next season, but I think if we can get the right calibre players to the football club in the summer, we can at least challenge for the Premier League title. We can at least challenge. But there's still deficiencies in the squad that need to be addressed. I think Manchester United need a centre forward. I think, we need a right winger, and we also need a central midfielder. There's also still talk saying that Manchester United could bring a defensive signing in, to be quite honest with you, but, we shall see. But this summer, Man United are definitely going to spend a substantial amount on bringing more additions to the squad. It still remains uncertain whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager in the summer transfer window. But I think, he will be Manchester United manager. Obviously, we have got quite a few ambitions this season, and one of those ambitions is the Europa League, because that's a chance of us getting some silverware on the board. Plus, it's another route to Champions League qualification, and the FA Cup is a priority for us because that's a chance for us getting some silverware on the board. And the league is a priority because we want to try and finish in that top four. But obviously, fifth place is a Champions League spot. Obviously, reflecting on Manchester City's ban from the Champions League for the next 2 seasons. But I can definitely assure if we can get Champions League qualification and we can also win the Europa League and the FA Cup, then definitely Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be given another season at Manchester United and that. But, obviously from Solskjaer's perspective, he'll hope he can be given at least another season at Manchester United. But it is good that he's making plans for the summer transfer window. I do actually believe that Man United are going to try and make Odion Ighalo's transfer permanent this summer, because Solskjaer did recently make an admission saying, he could make Odion Ighalo's transfer permanent this summer, because Odion Ighalo has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Odion Ighalo has 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club. And like I mentioned, he's totally comparison to the likes of Martial, Rashford, James, and all our other attacking players, because he's an option of a different type of centre forward. His hold-up play is good. He's a good cover-up for Marcus Rashford, and he's a player that can score goals, and he's highly experienced, and he's been a United player since he was a boy as Odion Ighalo. At the moment, we've got him on a 6-month loan. Man United paid around 3 or 4 million to get him on loan, and we're paying like a third of his wages. But yeah, I can see us getting him on a permanent transfer. But I still believe if we get him on a permanent transfer, Man United do need another centre forward in that. So he very, very likely will make his transfer permanent in the summer. And he's even willing to take a pay cut, is Odion Ighalo, to remain at Manchester United. So probably doesn't want to return to Shanghai Shenhua. His contract with Shanghai Shenhua runs until 2021. And his wages are like, is it 300 grand a week or something like that? But yeah, so I think, we'll get him on a permanent transfer. But he doesn't really count as a signing, does Odion Ighalo, because we've only got him on loan. So you can probably say that Solskjaer, has made 4 signings since he got recommended. And if you want to add Odion Ighalo into the equation, you can add Odion Ighalo into the equation. You can add Odion Ighalo into the equation now. But like I mentioned, there's a lot of players on our agenda, who we could go in for. Obviously, Manchester United have been linked with the likes of Jadon Sancho, Jude Bellingham, Jack Grealish. They are all players on our agenda, that we could go in for. Jadon Sancho is going to cost us around £120 million, or maybe, minimum £100 million. Bellingham's going to cost us around £30 million. Grealish would cost us around £70 million if Villa, were to avoid relegation. So that'd be around £200 million there on 3 players. Yes, it wouldn't that. But, to be honest with you, I've got to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a lot of credit, recently especially, he hasn't had much credit this season. He has received a lot of criticism from a lot of Manchester United fans, including me, but recently he's deserved to have a lot of credit. His approach to games have been very, very good. He's showed a lot of tactical flexibility, and we are in a good run of form. We are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions, and this is our best vein of form since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. But if the season is to resume, then obviously Solskjaer is still under pressure to continue this good run of form and that. And like I've said, I've got to say, we've done really, really well against the big six sides this season because we've registered like 17 points against the big six sides this season. And that's something else I've got to credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for. I think from my own perception, Solskjaer, needs to stick with the 3-5-2 formation because we look very expansive with that formation. Because on a regular basis this season, Solskjaer's been going with that 4-2-3-1 formation. The odd occasion, the 4-3-3. To be fair, he actually went a lot with the 4-3-3 as when he was the interim manager in that 3-month period. But we look much better with the 3-5-2. From Solskjaer's perspective, he would probably think the 3-5-2 is beneficial to go with in the big games. But he usually, does play the 4-2-3-1 formation, does Solskjaer and that. But people, of course, will have different perceptions on it. Like I said, Solskjaer spent around 220 million since he got recommended into Man United in 3 transfer windows. I've got to say, all the players he's recruited in so far have done exceptionally well. Daniel James, he's done really, really well. Prior to the last month or two, he hasn't been so good. But, he's rejuvenated himself because he ended his goal drought against Lask. He scored in the 5-0 win against Lask did Daniel James. That was his first goal for the football club since the 31st of August. Obviously, I think we've been overplaying Daniel James this season. There's still aspects of his game that need to improve. He's a very, very fast player that can get runs in behind. I think his crossing needs to improve though. But Man United only paid £15 million for him from Swansea. But got to give him a lot of credit. I think he's also very, very good at international level is Daniel James. I think Bissaka's done really, really well for us. A lot of aspects of his game have improved. He's always been defensively very, very good, but we recently, started to see the attacking side of his game. So give him a lot of credit. Harry Maguire, I think, he's done really, really well. Man United paid £80 million for him. He's the most expensive defender in the world and the second most expensive sign at the club. But I think Man United did make the right decision by giving Harry Maguire the captaincy on a permanent basis. We give him the captaincy reflecting on Ashley Young's departure, but his distribution, his composure, everything else is very, very good. Harry Maguire's and that, so he does deserve a lot of credit. And obviously, Bruno Fernandes has just been absolutely exceptional for us, Bruno Fernandes. And don't forget, he won Premier League Player of the Month for February. But, Bruno Fernandes is making the difference in the team. His decision making is very, very good. He creates good chances. He's scored 3 goals and provided 4 assists already. He's very instrumental, and Solskjaer's been urged to build a team around Bruno Fernandes, and we paid around £68 million for Bruno Fernandes. So he's like our 4th most expensive signing, but he's actually the best player that Manchester United have signed and recommended in since the Alex Ferguson era, and we've recruited over 30-odd players since the Alex Ferguson era. So Bruno Fernandes does deserve a lot of credit. But hopefully we can make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer. But I expect next season for us to enjoy a better season than what we've enjoyed this season, because this season we've enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season ever. But on the other hand, we can still finish in that top 4. But a lot of teams have been inconsistent in the league this season. But I said the same thing. I've just revert back to what I said. I said the same thing at the start of this season. I expected us to enjoy a better season this season than what we saw last season, because last season was very, very disappointing. We finished 6th last season. But like I said, analysing it throughout the course of this season, Solskjaer has been under a lot of pressure, but like I've said, there hasn't only been problems with the management at the football club. Like I mentioned, this season, a lot of United fans have had doubts about the club's ownership. A lot of United fans have been criticising Ed Woodward. Obviously, a lot of United fans don't like the way the football club has been run in the last 6 or 7 years or so. And obviously, a lot of United fans have been demanding a variety of changes at the football club. But like I said, not all the blame, stems from the management and that. But, I think Solskjaer does need more time. As it stands at the moment, Solskjaer's been at Man United 15 months, so he has been here over the year. Obviously, the longest serving manager Man United have had is Jose Mourinho. Well, after the Ferguson era, the longest serving manager we had was Jose Mourinho, because Mourinho endured 2.5 years at Manchester United. But the main explanations why he didn't work out under Mourinho is because when we'd recommended him in, I think he'd passed his sell-by date, so we recommended him in too late. Mourinho had bad disputes with the board, he had bad disputes with the top players, and the board went back in the signs that I wanted to recommend in the summer of 2018 and that. So this is why it didn't work out under Jose Mourinho. This is why it didn't work out under him and that. And don't forget, Solskjaer was recently talking about him, explaining how he had to overhaul Manchester United after his reign at the club. Because Solskjaer knows that he's inheriting the vast majority of Jose Mourinho's players. This is what he does know. And obviously, he was saying that a lot of things needed to be changed, such as tactics and players and all of this, etc., etc. This is what Solskjaer, was basically saying regarding Jose Mourinho. Obviously, the longest serving manager we've had overall is Alex Ferguson. We had Ferguson for, 26, 27 years. Obviously, no one will ever invoke Ferguson's legacy. But, when we recommended Ferguson in, he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United. And he was like one game away from getting the sack. But he didn't. And then look what Alex Ferguson, went and accomplished. Ferguson, of course, did spend money. He also developed a lot of young players in that. But, we're just hopeful now that we can bind to our history. And we've just got to hope that this team can replicate, what the team did under Alex Ferguson. Because, like I said, we've had great players up and down the generation. So put that into the equation and that. But Solskjaer's still got around 2 years left on his contract at Man United. And like I said, he was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance. But I know he's inexperienced as a manager, but the longer Solskjaer stays as a manager at Manchester United, he's going to be gaining more experience. Don't forget, Ed Woodward was talking a while back saying that he laid the foundations for long-term success with him. There's still quite a lot of our players that are determined to back Solskjaer. So maybe he does deserve time, because it does take some time for managers to settle in, and that is a transition period. And Solskjaer did reveal at the beginning of the year that he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. But Solskjaer knows if he's given another season, then he'll have many expectations to exceed. I'm still very sceptical that that he is good enough, to the highest level as a manager, Solskjaer. But whether his managerial tenure works out or not, we'll never forget what he has done for the football club. We will never forget that. I've also, by the way, got to give him a lot of credit, because he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since, his arrival at Manchester United. Around 9 senior players have left since he's come in, and Solskjaer is planning to get rid of around 4 or 5 players he's planning to get rid of around 5 players this summer, and we're hopeful of generating over £200 million for their departures. The rumoured players that are supposed to be leaving in the summer is De Gea, Jesse Lingard, Phil Jones, Alexis Sanchez. We're looking to get rid of him on a permanent transfer. Also to Marcus Rojo. Possibly, like I mentioned, Andres Pereira could leave. So he wants to get rid of around 5 players in the summer. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Possibly no. Paul Pogba could be still moved on, but we will see what happens. But like I mentioned to you guys, there's a lot of players that have improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And obviously, like I mentioned, we've got a lot of good young players that I think are going to become a success. I think Greenwood's going to become a success. I think Williams is going to become a success. Probably Tuanzebe is going to become a success. Maybe Garner. Garner hasn't really played, has he? Diego Dalot don't really have a perception on him at the moment. He hasn't played enough for me to have a perception on him, because Diego Dalot has sustained quite a few injuries this season. Don't forget, we got him from Porto in the summer of 2018, Diego Dalot. But these are a lot of young players in the squad and that. But, a lot of players have improved. Definitely, I've been very impressed with Luke Shaw since he come back from injury. He's received a lot of criticism as a Manchester United player, as Luke Shaw reflects on his injuries and his poor run of performances. But since he's come back, he's done well, because he was out for like 2 months, was Luke Shaw. Man United paid around 30 million for him from Southampton, and he's now into his 6th season at Man United. I've been very impressed with Lindelof. He's done very, very well at the back alongside Harry Maguire, so I've got to give him a lot of credit. He's now into his 3rd season at Manchester United, is Lindelof. We paid £30 million in from Benfica. I've also been impressed with McTominay and Fred. They've complemented each other fantastically well in our midfield, so they've improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to be quite honest with you. So I've got to give them a lot of credit. Martial's done well recently. He's also received a lot of criticism in the past, but Martial has sustained a few injuries this season, so that's actually had a bad effect on him. So a lot of players have, to be honest, rejuvenated themselves. Obviously, the players that Solskjaer's brought in have done exceptionally well for us. So, yeah, so they've done really, really well. But a lot of money's been spent at Manchester United in the last 6 or 7 years, in all the managerial eras since the Ferguson era. But we've also haven't only spent a lot of money. We've got players on big contracts at the club. You've got Fernandes on 100 grand a week. You've got Rashford on 300 odd grand a week, with bonuses included. Martial on 200 odd grand a week. Pogba on 290 grand a week. Harry Maguire on 200 grand a week, something like that. De Gea on £375,000 a week. We're still paying Sanchez 300 grand a week, despite the fact that he's on loan at Inter Milan. So we have got players on big contracts at the club. So if we could get rid of players, it would also free up our wage bill a lot. So put that into the equation as well. But anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.